us, but they're also like us, and their shots are max, protected. They get good protection when they're taking shots down the field, so you have to cover them. It's hard to get there. There are a lot of big plays happen on first, second down, and picking their time to take shots and get the ball down the field. And they're very efficient.
Watching the film, what did you think of Dingle's? Octavius.
Octavius did a really nice job. I thought he played faster than he had in the past. You could see he's worked hard in the off season. Really took to the coaching. He escaped and he played fast and played with great energy, and I was excited about that.
Mark, how did your young linebackers play, and how did Jack Jones had he played, considering he'd been banged up in camp?
Yeah, he played good. He was banged up. He missed a little bit. Some of our linebackers were a bit out of position. We've got some things to correct with just all the different things we did. I don't want to use the word communicate, because then you guys will try to beat me over the head with that for a year. But it's normal stuff. We do a lot of things, and so sometimes it's strong hook, sometimes it's weak hook. But just in the changing of personnel and formations, just cleaning up. Cleaning up some things with some inexperienced linebackers. Again, I'm confident that they'll all play well, and we'll get them straightened out. But we got some guys out of position that we got to get cleaned up.
Mark, what do you think about the O-line play and the new run blocking scheme for the first time out?
I felt like, like a lot of years. There's a lot of good, and there's a lot of things to build on, and a lot to clean up, So we always wish, we can perform a touch better, and it's like that, finishing blocks, staying on guys longer. I'll tell you this, I liked the way we tried to be, we were physical and tried to be physical. There were some yards out there that we left on the field, with some cuts too, that we gotta see better, and I'd like to believe it's because of the way we're running the ball right now. Our vision was better when everything was inside and downhill. It's a little different when we're teaching outside, and then there's certain plays where they got to see it, and there was big runs backside. But that's a running back's job. You know what I mean? So you don't know where it's going to hit on certain plays. And obviously Chris is Chris. He makes people miss and runs hard and physical, and he's a very talented player. And all of our backs are, but there's some yards we left on the field.
Mark, excuse me, sorry. It's early in the season. So is there anything about Missouri that surprises you or doesn't surprise you?
No, they're what you would expect, and they're good. They play hard. They're a well-coached football team, and that's where it starts. With guys in the right position and play the game the way it's supposed to be played, and play very physical, play hard, and do a good job. They keep you off balance. They certainly did a year ago. They had a lot of drives a year ago that were, they worked for them. And again, I hate to go back too much on that, but they had 20 points, but it felt like 40 by the way they controlled the ball. A lot of third and manageables, and then some fourths that they converted. And so we got to do a better job.
Mark, how important is Corker in that defense, and what's the best words to describe him?
Yeah, it's a great point. Nobody, a lot of people don't talk about Yusuf that much, and Yusuf is just one of those guys that just has so many plays under his belt. He's gotten so much better because of the work that he's put into it, and his coaches have done a nice job with him. And he's just, you just have to love him. He's just one of those guys. It's like a lot of guys you've heard me talk about. I hate to single out one because we have a lot of them, but the one that jumps out is Jamin, that he just kind of just came to work every day. You know what I mean? Just every day tried to get better, and did his job, and led himself, but obviously had influence on others. When I was talking about leadership, lead yourself first. Well, they're one of those guys that always seem to do the right thing every day, and then they have an influence over their position group, and then ultimately over the team. And Yusuf's a lot like that.
Will JJ be on a snap count again Saturday, you think? And what does it say about his progress rehab-wise, that he was able to go this long?
Yeah,
on Saturday?
very, very pleased with JJ, no setbacks, he felt good, he's getting confidence, and we'll see where we go from here, and we'll see how the week goes.
Mark, how did Devontae Robinson play?
I was pleased with Devontae, you know, he really kind of got back to where he was a couple years ago, and, you know, with the injury, and you know, really did a good job, and we needed him to. It was a key position for us, and he did some good things.
How'd you feel about Mike Drennan and what he was able to do out there?
Yeah.
What can he bring to that running back?
Another one, yeah, he could be one of those dynamic guys, you know, he's got some top end, he's got some wiggle, maybe, and, you know, could make people miss in the open field. But Michael, it was nice to see him also get some tough yards, get the ball in the end zone, and, you know, becoming a complete back. I think it's going to be a good switch for him and for us.
You kind of touched on it at the beginning, but just, it's been a while since you guys have played a night game here in front of your fans. Just how eager are you to get back in that atmosphere here at home again?
Well, it was great to get home last week and whatever time we play, but I appreciate the fans being there. You know, it was warm, but it wasn't, you know, at least it was decent. I appreciate the people being there. It's going to be a night game, so no excuses. We need that place packed, and looking forward to it.
There was, you know, a lot made of Monroe as a like the level of quality of team, you know, coming in.
Pardon me?
Last year, going on 10, and what did you see though from Monroe? Like, did they look like a good football team?
Well, I think, you know, Monroe, you know, what I had a pretty good idea of going into it was that coach was going to have them fundamentally just trying to play the game the right way. Not much different than the situation I came into in year one. You know, I went through, you know, phases where you're trying to, you know, you're trying to win, and so you're sometimes throwing things at the wall, but ultimately you have to just become a better football team fundamentally. And so that's what I saw. I saw a team that was well coached, that was just, you know, trying to do things, you know, the right way on all sides, and they were well coached, they were in position, but it also gives us a clean look, you know, so that was good for us in that way. Certainly, you know, with them being in year one, we, you know, obviously had better personnel, but it gave us clean looks, and that was really good for us to work on ourselves. And that's what, you know, I figured there'd be. I mean, it's, you know, kind of what you have to do, you know, when you're taking over a program like that, just fundamentally teaching those guys how to play the game. And you certainly saw a lot of plays in there where they did things very good.
Time for a couple more.
Mark, you talked balance all preseason, and you had 34 rushes, 33 passes. Is that something that you're physically tracking in your mind, or you just let that go?
Funny story about that. We were in our staff meeting after that, and Liam told me that, and I said, "Really?" It felt like 90% pass to me. It just goes to show you kind of where our mindset has been. You know what I mean? I mean that's a true story. I was like, wow. So no, we weren't trying to track that. You know, like, you know, on paper say, you know, that's just the way he calls plays, and that's what we talked about. That's what you want to be, but to be exactly in play counts, run and pass 50-50, are we looking for that every week? At the end of the day, no. You're looking to win the game and do, you know, and as Hayden Fry used to say, scratch where it itches.
Were you surprised at how fast you guys were able to move those off? I mean, going into the huddle and that kind of, were you surprised at how?
I wasn't surprised because I've seen that. You've heard me talk about procedure a lot. And, you know, it was different for y'all to see a huddle, right? And us to break the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, shift, motion, you know, again, clean. We've been that way. The guys have worked hard. You know, the coaches have worked hard, our players have worked hard. And that's good. I mean, from a defensive perspective, you're breaking the huddle, you're getting to the line of scrimmage fast, there's motions, there's shifts, it's hard to get locked in. When you're at the line of scrimmage, even those guys that try to go fast but watch it from there, the defensive guys, you see whether it's 2x2 or 3x1. and you see, you know, whether they're big, you know, you get a beat on it sometimes. Not to say that it's easy, 'cause it's not, depending on the personnel. A lot of it comes down to personnel, but, anyway, you know, I like the procedure, and I like the way we're getting in and out of the huddle and running the offense. You know, we just got to continue to build on it and get, you know, better. The one fumble, or, you know, the one snap issue we had, I was getting down there to call the timeout. I probably should have got, you know, was walking down to call it, and, but it was on first sound, and the minute Luke heard something, he snapped it. So things like that, we'll continue to work on.
Mark, you often talked about the running game being important to help establish the passing game. The fans seem to be very pleased with the passing game. How excited are you to be able to give the fans what they want?
Well, I want to give the fans victories, you know, so, or you'll be talking to a new guy up here. So I think that's the big thing, is still get victories, but I do also understand the importance of it. I mean, I like it too. It's a matter of what you can do, you know, what you can do well. And I always, you know, I want to win, and I want to do what we can do good. You know, you would be talking to somebody else if I would just sit there and said, drop back, pass, throw the ball, you know what I mean? And we just didn't get good at anything, you know what I mean? So we did things necessary to win games. Do I wish we would have won a few more or had a little more bounce? Of course. You know, I'm always striving to be the best we could be. And, you know, I think that's still the case, you know, whatever, by any means necessary. However, again, any team that's one-dimensional one way or the other does not present as many problems as the teams that can do both. You know, that's just a fact.
So doing what you want to do and doing it well, again, if not doing it perfectly, doing it excellently.
I mean, you're not going to get me to say that. That's your words.
Last one,
I'm
Josh.
not going to say that. I mean, we have a lot of good things to build on. We're not excellent yet. We're striving for it.
This ain't really a football question. I'm just kind of curious. 20th anniversary, you know, September 11th coming up. What day y'all play? What does that mean? You just reflected on that, and I mean, I know that for your players it's maybe harder because a lot of them weren't around when that happened.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and I know exactly where I was. I was playing. We were getting ready to play. I was with the Hurricanes, and I was in my office, and one of the GAs or ball control coaches at the time or whatever were in their office breaking down film and saw it happen, and we were in their defensive meeting and obviously went over to his office. All of us watched it, and then we saw the other plane hit, you know, as we watched it. And obviously, I think just shock at that point in time, you know, shock and a lot of different reactions, sad, angry, disappointed. But I think after a short amount of time, we knew we weren't going to play a football game that day or that Saturday.
Okay, folks, thank you very much. We'll see